Hello, it's me again. I just decided that I wanted to make another. Because I get really excited sometimes, and normally I come home and I want to do this, but I'm too big of a pussy to do it. Or I get into a mode where I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Because what do I actually want to represent myself as? And are people even going to listen? Because there's lots of people that I listen to that talk about real shit, and nobody really listens to them. They've been going off for about 3 years about things that matter, things that are changing, things that we're experiencing, and nobody fucking cares. Because we're in this existence where it's like, that's how it is. You know, people, they want to go home and do whatever it is that makes them feel comfortable. You're in a position where, and this is the way that I look at it. When it comes to corporate America, or when it comes to having a job is what pushes you to be lazy. It's what pushes people to procrastinate. And the reason why is because it's an obligation that you have to fulfill in order to have the kind of life that you want to have, or in order to have the kind of materials, I should say, that you want to have. And because it's an obligation just to accomplish material things, we can easily see how just getting away from it for 5 minutes makes you just want to do you for 5 minutes. And this comes down to, like, what we're living in is not a healthy mind state. Do you really think that we come into existence to work a fucking job for somebody else to be rich? Do you really think that we come into existence and that is the purpose of this life? That's the purpose of what we're doing here? Because I'm saying, let's reevaluate the value system. Let's reevaluate what's the training mechanism of elementary school. Look at elementary school in the same context as you look at your job. You get your first recess, your first break. You get your lunch break, and your lunch recess, which is also your lunch break. And you get your last break, your last recess. All we did here, instead of calling it a break, was drop the word recess on it so that it sounds like elementary school. How funny is it that you learn how to do basic office skills in elementary school? When you go to the library, and let's go pre-computers, because when I was a kid, we didn't have the library system set up on computers. We still had cards, and you still had, like, bookmarkers to go stick inside the shelf and yank the book out and put the book right back where you found it from. You still had to file by number and by name. So when you take these concepts of what we were learning in school as far as behavior mechanisms, we were learning how to sit through aspects of work when you get older. Why would it be such a huge inconvenience for kids to not be put into school if you weren't trying to train them to be corporate members? And while homeschool right now is permitted, I'm pretty sure the education system's looking into homeschool for the simple fact that kids who are homeschooled think too independently. It's interesting. It's really interesting. So I guess there's one aspect of what I've been thinking about as far as how I was trained at a young age about how to be a good little worker and super worker bee. I wanted to be a TA. Like, I loved being teacher's pet. So naturally, a lot of my bosses can recognize positive traits in me that they see as an employee. And that's funny to me. That's really funny to me. So this kind of what I'm talking about kind of spawned off of a movie that I watched the other day, Zeitgeist 3, Moving Forward. I've also watched the first one and the second one. If you're unfamiliar with Zeitgeist, I've talked about it in previous videos, but I don't have the videos up anymore, so it is what it is. The Zeitgeist movies, Zeitgeist, Zeitgeist. Let me write that down to make sure that I spelled it right. Zeitgeist. Yes, I totally did. See, I had it pictured in my head already. The first one, actually, you know what? I shouldn't even tell you what they're about. They're fucking informational documentaries, and I suggest that if you want to be a grown-up, you go watch them. Pretty sure you can find them on YouTube. Hit your search bar, Go check that shit out. I think they have them in parts, so you can actually end up watching the whole movie off of YouTube if you just sit at your computer and flip through the video. I would recommend it just because it's killer info. It's really going to put you on, and maybe some things you just didn't think about. Like, I realize that people don't want their reality shaken up. They want to have whatever religion they want to have. They want to be whoever they want to be. I recognize that. But you're also part of this reality, and this reality includes all of us. So maybe a little bit more unifying concepts of how you are a part of the world is going to benefit who you are as an individual, how you respond to this world, what you actually do while you're in it. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, maybe you should get yourself a little more inclined. Especially if you're around this age where you're in your 20s. Like, what do you think is going to happen in the next 10 years? You think Obama gets to take another 8 to 10 years? No. He could potentially get another 4, and after that, then what? Who steps up to play? Who's doing what about what? And then let's look at, well, what are you going to do? You want to fall back into this? And then on top of that, what are they going to do? Do we even have a choice anymore about who gets voted in? I mean, when it comes down to electorals, did we really vote those electoral people in? Or was that the mass majority of old people that live in your city, state, or community that actually got out and went and voted on your state representatives? That's a whole different ball game than what we're dealing with. But who gets into state representation? And how do you get into that? All I'm saying is I'd like to see more people out and about, real people, trying to do something real. Because the reason why politics are so fucked up and we feel like there's so much corruption in the system is because these people are faulty. All they give a fuck about is ends meet. Half the people on this end of the chain can't care about money that much. You know why? Because we don't have as much as you do. It's like I was watching Back to Black 314. And I believe it was him. It was either him or it was Stick 187, but one or the other was talking about how we're in a recession. Do you think politicians or anybody in that field is worried about their job? Do you think they're going to lose their fucking job? No. Because they're not me and you out here actually working it, putting this bitch on grind. Do you realize that this was a big giant ship? You and I wouldn't be the captains. We would be the fucking rowers. We would be pushing this bitch to whatever fucking place we were going to. You see? Take some initiative. Take back your initiative. And remember, because this is something I have to remind myself, when you're watching a movie, when you're watching even a documentary, that person is trying to sway your opinion. So read through all the info. Because all these movies that I watch, awesome, amazing. But by the time I get to the end of it, I haven't just co-signed with the idea because I like the movie. And that's something I think we do all too often, especially with movies that entertain us. We just co-sign with the idea. Yeah, it's okay that she did this and did that because we can rationalize that because we enjoyed the movie. All I'm saying is, are your thoughts really your thoughts? Don't let somebody just push you into an idea because everything sounds great. Because 9 times out of 10, there's a little bit of fine print along the bottom. So, that's all I'm trying to say. Hope everybody does well, and I'm done.